Tell me, how is it possible with so many troops that communities can enforce their blockage? They can block national highways at will. How is it possible? I sometimes fail to fathom it. 30,000 security men there, 25,000. It's a small state, and still it gets enforced.
That is, see, it's one of the problems. Why I keep on going to the Indian state is precisely this. Under all the institutional mechanism, ask these questions. This would not have happened. I think with you also, I often remember your face when I say, Karthikeyan had this problem or issue happen in UP or Bihar, would it have allowed? You said like this. I still have the video clip. You are not the only journalist I've asked this. So the Indian state, here again, what you're saying, is this the Indian state? National highways. You know what is that, if the truth be spoken? The counter-insurgency paradigm is implicated in the present crisis. Remember that it's not only cookie armed groups. The manner in which you have this so-called ceasefire and sue, the paradigm itself is wrong. I mean, there is a Manipuri chap who served in police as well as in UN. He has a lovely lecture. He says, this demobilizations, de-weaponizations, disarming is part of any of these kind of negotiation. In India, we don't do that. In Manipur, what they do is that they prop up and sustain this, arm them, sustain them. They can recruit against all your agreement. And these groups have been allowed to operate within the civil spaces and political spaces. And then political class, that's why I said elites, right on.
Is this the reason why NGOs are so powerful and potent?
Leave the NGOs. NGOs, I think we have to be a little nuanced on that. Let me finish this before I miss this one. This is the fact. The counter-insurgency ethos and paradigm used by the Indian state is not according to the international norms when you have this kind of a negotiation. In the international process, established process, you have demobilizations, disarming. No, you don't do that here. You allow them. And this extortion on the highway, this economy, is created by that paradigm. That's why you talk to any driver from UP or Bihar who go to Manipur, they will say, Indian Army's post, Manipur State Police post, paramilitary post. Then you have this insurgents group taking their pound of their, what is that, flesh. You call it tax, which is actually extortion. That has normalized. Uska effect kya hai? What is its effect? The cement bag which you get it for 350 rupees in Dimapur or in Guwahati, it is sold for 600, 700 rupees. Manipur became one of the highest inflation rate state in the country. And this has been going on for decades. And it is same armed groups were implicated in ethnic crisis each time. Since the 1990s, people have been saying this time also. And in Manipur, my suspicion is that that paradigm which operate in the hill areas were sought to be introduced in the valley areas, similar kind of paradigms, the political economy and practices. So it is rooted in the Indian state counter-insurgencies policies. Don't forget this.
In your opinion?
If I may allow me to say one more line. If it is this paradigm in which our armed forces are also being caught up, otherwise, I can tell you, however sophisticated weapon, 20, 50 people member or 100 member group, you have special forces, para forces. Do you think Indian Army can't handle them? In fact, the Indian Army and troops, organization like Assam Rifle knows these groups like they know the back of their hands. Who's the wife and wife's sister, where do they eat, where they drink. Indian armies and intelligence know this very well. If they wanted to crack down on it, stop the violence, they can do it, but they don't do it for two reasons. First is the political class do not take a decisive decision on these issues. Two, because of the ethos of the counter-insurgencies, many of these our security establishments are caught in that matrix.
Is ASU Accords the solution or the problem?
Which one?
The SU Pact.
See, for me, personally speaking, that's why I say, any grievances and aspirations, instead of picking at arms, you come to the negotiation table and to have a dialogue is a preferred mechanism in any democracy. So I'm not against ceasefire or suspension operation in principle. But as I have already pointed out, the manner in which these things have been done in Manipur, okay, is to naturalize and normalize what is essentially an abnormal practice. Okay, allowing them to operate, and then political class to have, to ride piggyback on these groups, to take out their political benefits. That's how it's been happening in Manipur. And this group also sustained, they have, this taxation within, they call it, extortions. So that political economy and ethos is part of the counter-insurgencies. If the government of India changed, no, ceasefire would mean these are the conditions, these are the classic example is this one. You have a deputy CM swear by the Indian constitution, accusing his own colleague, another deputy CM, whose husband's group is involved in the violence. It is there on press conference. Is it normal?
How's this government functioning?
No. Answer this. Is it normal that a deputy CM is accusing the other deputy CM's group is implicated in this?
Very
violence?
problematic.
Deeply problematic. Another problematic which the national media has forgotten, the rest of the country, when the Indian armed forces go to Congo or Rwanda, you have this principle of separating the warring groups and create a buffer zone. That's perfectly okay. But when you do within the country, what is your purpose? Your purpose is to enforce the constitution, isn't it? The constitutional order. The one critical aspect of the constitutional order is to take care of the citizen. Indian constitution starts with Article 5. At the very beginning of our constitution, it is a citizen and their right. Fundamental rights begin in Article 12. So your job of enforcing constitutional order, that's the mandate of our security forces, Indian Army, Police, Central Security Forces, all of them. But what they're doing, instead of enforcing that constitution, which means allowing people to get access to airport, to highways, to their homes, they're separating. This can only come when your mindset, you take Manipur as not a part of India where constitution is not there, but a foreign countries where you're doing a peacekeeping mission. That's what the Indian security forces are doing for the last 3 years, and the rest of the country is not talking about it. And I'm saying this, communal violence is in the bone marrow of this country since 1920s onwards. And partition happened because of that. Post-partition, we have series of violence. Have you ever done for 3 years separating Hindus and Muslim? And Muslim area mein hospital hai, isliye Hindus cannot go. And airport is in Hindu areas, Muslim cannot go. Have you ever practiced that in their country? You wouldn't do it because you think these are all citizens, they should get access to this. It's a constitution. But in Manipur, you don't treat it as a part of the constitution framework. So you justify, which is an illegal, unconstitutional practice of buffer zone and separating. Last one. Who support this buffer zone? Some of the same Kuki elites. I'm using not Kuki as a community. They keep on justifying this buffer zone, and Indian state is cooperating. That is why, especially among the Meiteis and Nagas, they think that this is a proxy war of the Indian state fought through some of these Kuki groups and elites.
Is it a frozen conflict or is it a forgotten conflict?
I would not say it's not forgotten. It's definitely not forgotten. This is something that I have said. I think this is, since I'm a student of social science, I have worked on this for a long, long time. I'll give you an example. In 2003, there was a national security meeting in Delhi. And there was a lovely picture. I will not name the paper, okay? I have written this. There's presented a paper in national seminar way back some 20 years ago. You will be surprised to see this, okay? I don't want to name the paper. National security. And there were 5 chief ministers in that picture. And the caption was beautiful, borrowed from Benetton, United Colors of India, of the Republic. And they mentioned CM of this, CM of this, CM. There were 4 CMs' names were mentioned. Sri Ibobi was in the frame. His name did not appear. A security concerned state ka CM, Ibobi, in that national media, and I used that picture and argued the question you're saying about forgotten, that's what I'm saying. It's not a question of out of sight and hence out of mind. It is out of mind, hence it is out of sight.